Have you ever felt like running away and leaving behind the stresses and arguments of modern life? The last chapter was addressed to those people in the Christian church who insist that entering heaven is a free gift from God and that we don't have anything to do or say in the matter. This chapter is addressed to those who think that entering into heaven is a matter of leaving worldly life behind and joining a religious order. Now, not many people these days think about joining a monastery, at least not in the West anyway, but there's still a useful lesson here, even for our very secular society. It's tempting to think how wonderful the world would be if we were able to withdraw from all the suffering and strife, the arguments and greed we see in everyday life. How much more peaceful and connected we would feel if only people would stop being so rude. But that's actually not very helpful to us spiritually. If we were closeted from the stresses of daily life and the rudeness of other people, we would never have the opportunity of seeing our reactions to those things, and we would forget that we too are capable of being every bit as rude. We actually need to be engaged in these things, as difficult as they might seem, because by that means our own evils are seen for what they are. They're worked upon and brought under control. M. Scott Peck, the author of The Road Less Travelled, wrote that stress is the test of goodness. The truly spiritual person is the one who remains connected to the heaven within despite the hell that surrounds them, who manages to bring something of heavenly peace into their world rather than running to hide from the struggle. Earlier, in the chapter on the rich and poor in heaven, Swedenborg wrote, "It is not as hard to follow the path to heaven as many people believe. The only difficulty is finding the power to resist love for ourselves and love of the world, and preventing those loves from taking control, since they are the source of all our evils. It is precisely because we live in an imperfect world where we experience provocations and challenges that we are able to see our evils come to light. We're able to acknowledge uncomfortable truths about ourselves." And there's a great hint at this spiritual practice in paragraph 533. "When anything presents itself to a man that he knows to be dishonest and unjust, but to which his mind is born, it is simply necessary for him to think that it ought not to be done because it is opposed to the divine precepts. If a man accustoms himself so to think, and from so doing establishes a habit of so thinking, he is gradually conjoined to heaven." So the challenge is to live in the world and engage fully with it, despite everything that makes us want to run away, to recognize our own imperfections and failings, and to strive to react with a little peace, instead of violence and anger, or even just hurt and disappointment. It's often said evil flourishes when good people do nothing, but we could also say that evil flourishes when good people run away. As always, you're welcome to read along with us or read ahead if you prefer. You may have questions you'd like to put in the comments. Enjoy the journey.